Hello everyone and welcome back to my Autodesk 3ds Max tutorials where we are modelling and creating things as an asset for the games such as Arma 3 and other games that you may want to make a model for. So as I say, primarily we're going to be working on Arma 3 and we're going to be making an asset that is mainly going to be a house at the moment, where we're going to start off by making the walls, windows, doors, everything like that, to make a actual outside structure that you can import into game. Then what we'll do is we'll work on unwrapping, texturing, actually comping it into game with all of the LODs, etc., and the code that you will need. And then we might actually work on creating furniture as well after that. The reason I'll do it that way is because you can get the model into game running nice and smooth, and then you can also try out your actual designs, see how you like it, and you'll be able to know any changes that need to be made. So without further ado, let's get on with tutorial 1.3, where we actually start to make a house.
Now give me the beat.
Okay, so now we're into Autodesk 3ds Max. I'm using 2016 version. I'm using the student version, which people can use if they go on the website. It's a version where you don't have to have an academic email or anything like that. It's just for people who wish to learn to use 3ds Max and like non-industry kind of thing. So we're going to go back. We're going to go over a few things that we've already done. So we're in our window. We have the 4 different displays. You can either use the 4 different displays, or as I like to do it, use one. So we're going to look at this one, which we can know it's selected because of the the golden coloured like outline, and pressing Alt W will make it a single screen. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually make the base floor of our structure. So by pressing T, what we're going to do is we're going to get a box. Now, this box, I'm going to do a box, and this box is actually going to make the wall of our structure. So we're going to make one wall. And this wall is going to be the front wall, and the front wall is going to be down the bottom. The lower parts at the front, top parts at the back, and we can tell this by over here. If we look at this, over here, the front is down on this part. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw the first wall, and we're going to try and keep it in the grid. And we're going to do a wall that is, we're going to say this wide here. Maybe not that wide. Let's go this wide. Drag it again. We'll see that it goes up. I'm going to hold down Alt and middle mouse button, and we're going to be able to view it round like this. So it's not too thick. So what we're going to do is we're going to fix this over here. So length. Well, the length should be maybe 2, and that would be 2 of, if we press it, if we make sure that's in, press enter. If we then press 2 or L to go into the left view, we'll see it's about 2 meters wide. By pressing W, we can move it over to make sure it actually fits in the grid nicely. It just makes it easier to model with. There we go. If we go back on up here to the Modify tab, click on the shape again, we'll be able to just fix these numbers. So we've got 180. So it'll be about 18 meters wide. We're going to lower that down to, let's say, 15. To 150. And what that is also going to let us do is it's going to let us have a odd number. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to rise that back up to 160. What that will let us do is have space for 2 doors in the middle, and a door is 1 meter in Arma, is 1 meter by 2 meters. So we'll be able to have 2 doors in the middle, and then we'll have, so if we take away the 2 meters for those 2 doors, we will have 14 meters. So we'll have 7 meters either side to be able to make windows. Nice and simple. The height. Now for the first floor, we're only going to need it to be 3 meters. So we're going to put 30. Okay, and if we take a look at that from the front, that's our first floor. So a door is 2 meters, as I say, and it leaves us with 1 extra height bit after that. So it might seem like it's a bit, you know, why are we doing this kind of thing now? Well, all will become explained. It's very simple to get hold of and understand in the long run. So, what we need to do now is we obviously need to press G, press T to go into the top view, and we're going to copy this wall. First of all, we're going to right click, convert to, editable poly. Editable poly will just mean that we're able to actually move and mess around with this one. We're going to hold down the shift key, and whilst in the move tool, if you're not in the move tool, if you're in this tool or this tool, just press W, it'll move you into that one. Holding down shift and the Y axis, whilst we're on the top view, we're going to move this, and we're going to move it to, say, here. And we are going to make it a copy. There we go. And we're going to now need to connect these. We could copy another one, but what we're actually going to do is we're going to select element, holding down control, and on both. Or sorry, clicking on this one, we're going to click on attach down here, attach it back to that one, press 5 again, and we're just going to select them both. Or make sure it's selected. There we go. So what we're going to do now, we're going to use the slice plane tool on the right hand side, and it's the wrong way up. So we're going to press E for rotate, make sure angle snapping's toggled at the very top here, and we're going to, on the green, we're going to rotate until it's at 90, which we can see at the bottom down here. By pressing W, we're going to be able to move it across to a decent width that we think is good for the wall. We kind of want this to be the same width, so about there. We're going to hit the slice tool. Then we're going to move it over, back to the other side. It's about the same, we're going to hit slice. Now we need to connect these tools, so we're going to hit the slice plane just to get rid of it. We're going to press 4, and 4 will give us on the polygon tool up here, so we can remember this by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 different tools. We're going to use the 4 tool, and we're going to click on this face. If it's not showing up, you want to press F4, and it'll actually show you the edges of the lines. The other thing you might want to do is click up here, you can see edge faces. We're also going to tick shaded instead of realistic. It just gets rid of the realistic shading. We're going to select that one as well. I'm going to select this one. These are just the inner edges we've created. We're going to hit delete. We're then going to use the border tool, or 3. We're going to click on these gaps that we've just made on the edges of the gaps. So we're going to do this side first. Once you've done that, if you just click the bridge button, you'll actually bridge it and you will make a wall in between. Okay, so now we've done that, you'll notice we've got a floor. Okay, now we could have done it a few other ways, but that's just to show how you would do it if you wanted to make a bit more eccentric. So if you wanted to have a cut-off point or a diagonal side, simple, bridge the 2 edges. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the front. Now, assuming as we're only going to be working on the front, we're going to use Polygon Tool. We're going to click on this one again. We're going to click on that side. Go back to F and press Z. Z will zoom it into that point. So we're going to need to make space for the doors. So we're going to use the Slice Plane tool. We're going to move it across. So here's our middle line. Okay. So, I mean, we are going to want a line there because we're going to want to split the doors down the middle. Because there's going to be 2 doors. Okay. Then we are going to want to put one there. And we're going to want to put one there. Now, what we're also going to want to do, and now we've made the doors, we're just going to go over to this line. Over here, we're going to slice here as well. This is just making extra lines on those 2 faces we've just made. And the other one is going to be here. And the reason we're using the grid is just to make sure we get them right. So we've done that. That's nice. So we now have the doors. And what we're going to do now, we're going to hit Edge. We're going to hold down Alt and draw a box over these 2 just to deselect them. And we're now just left with the door ones. In fact, what we're going to do, we're going to unselect those for now. We're going to we're going to rotate our model up just a bit more so we can see. By holding down Control and dragging, we're just going to select the 2 sets of lines for these 2. Okay. Now, by pressing F, we're going to go to the front again, and we're going to hit the Connect tool. The Connect is going to connect the line up here with the line down here, and same with over here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to up these segments we've made by, let's say, I'm going to say 5. and we will have the right amount. Yes, we do. There we go, perfect. So we now have the whole thing split up. I'm going to go back on Face Tool, and we're back to selected with the face. Now, we're going to go back on the Slice Plane tool, and we're going to make the top and lower half of the window by rotating it back round, moving it over a bit. We press Z to zoom back in. Right, so what we need to remember is the windows and the doors actually use a different height. So, Polygon, find where the doors are, Alt and drag. We've unselected them. Slice Plane, Shift again. So the windows, we're going to make the windows have use up more room. So we're going to use a Slice Plane there. We're going to use a Slice Plane down here. And that's done for those. Okay, now what we're going to do is for the edge mode, we're going to be selecting no, not yet. We're going to be going back on the face tool, sorry. We're going to be selecting these two. Okay, so there's a bit of an issue here. You'll see that when we've gone to select here, it's selected more. All you need to do for that is go onto the edge tool and work out why there's no connection here. So we're going to draw a box to that, and there's a button here called connect. If you do that, it should connect. Okay, why is it not doing that? If it doesn't do that, there's another way you can do this by just deleting. And it will take some time, but we'll be able to edge. Okay. Edge. Why is this doing this? Edge to edge. Let's try bridging it again. Connect. Okay, that's weird. I don't know why it's done that. Anyway, what we could do is we can just do that, whoops, go on the other side and set those two. By going to the front, what we need to do now, go back onto the slice plane, and we only want it to be 2 meters high. And we're going to hit slice plane. There we go. So now what we can do is we can actually go through and remove most of these, but we're not going to do that first. For the windows, we're going to select all of the windows. We just cut out, but that's not a window, so Alt and on click. Once we've selected all of the windows, we're going to hit the inset tool, and we're going to inset by polygon from this drop down box. That lets us inset for each for the windows. I'm going to go inset by 1, that's a good amount. And then if we click on one of the borders, hold down shift and click, control, shift click, control, shift click, we're able to select all of the windows. Like that. And control, shift click, control, shift click. And by doing that, undo that, control, shift click. If we do all of this, we'll be able to select all of the windows. Okay, once we've done that, what we're going to do is we're just going to extrude part of that. Obviously not by that much, we're going to try 1. Let's see, 1 is maybe a bit too much again, so we're going to do 0.5. Nice little extrude there for the windows. We're going to go back, and we're now going to actually select all of the windows that we made before. Go around the other side again. Oops. When we've done that, we can hit delete. And by using the bridge tool again, we're going to bridge. And bridge. And as we bridge through all of these, what it's going to do is it's going to create us the edges for the window. Nice and simple. and then we'll be able to add the windows in a second. Or what we'll do is we'll actually leave the windows for the last minute, and you'll see why. Okay, bridge and bridge, bridge, holding down control, and bridge, and perfect. And as we go around here, we can see we have got the outline for the window, and there we go. And then obviously for the doors, what we're going to do is we'll actually just delete those for now. And what we'll do is we'll go around here, just using the edge tool. We're just going to bridge, and the other side. Whoops, not chamfer. We're just going to bridge that as well, and then there'll obviously be a couple up here. Bridge, bridge, and bridge. There we go. Whoops. There we go. So now we've got that. Obviously what we can do now is we can eventually copy it around to the other side. And eventually what we'll do is we will be adding in a door, we will be adding in the windows. But for now, I'm actually going to leave it here for this episode. We've been running for 16 minutes. So, what have we done today? Well, we've made the outside wall of our structure, only the first floor at the moment. We've added a door and some windows. What can you do on the other side? Well, the other side you can do things like add more walls. You can focus on putting more walls inside, if you'd like. You could make more intricate shapes, and you can add windows and doors, frames. Eventually we'll model the doors and add those in as a separate object. But for now, that's where I'm going to leave this episode. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. And I really hope you enjoyed this and found this informative. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to try and answer them as best as I can. I really do hope you enjoyed this. Thank you ever so much for watching, guys.